Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Chapter 7 The King's Dream. Once upon a time, there lived a king. He had a long cherished dream of getting a magnificent palace built. He wanted it to be the best palace in the world. And at the same time, he did not wish to spend much in terms of money and efforts. So, he sent for the best of the architects from his kingdom and asked them to come up with a unique idea. After much contemplation, it was decided that the palace would be built with the support of one column only. For making this column, the wood of the tallest tree in the kingdom would be used. There were many tall trees in and around the king's regime: spruce, pine, oak and deodar. And the tallest and the strongest were the deodars, whose name, Deodar, means tree of God. The king sent for his prime minister and said, "Send men to my forests far and near, and tell them to cut down and bring to this city without delay the largest deodar they can find." "But the deodar is a sacred tree," protested his daughter. "It is used only for building temples." "All the more reason for me to have one," said the king. "My palace shall be as magnificent as any temple." The prime minister sent out 30 men, but they soon returned, saying that though there were many great deodars in the kingdom, they could never carry or drag them over so long a distance. When the king heard this, he called his son and said, "Take your horsemen, and with the help of your horses, bring me one of those trees." Word meaning: magnificent, imposing, unique, unusual or remarkable, sacred, holy, protested, expressed strong objections. The prince rode out with his horsemen but returned after a few days saying, "No horses could move such a tree an inch. We have tried oxen too, but without any success." "Well, then, try elephants," said the king. Elephants were brought from the plains, but the hills were too steep for them, and the paths too narrow. They had to return to the valley. "Very well," said the king angrily. "In one of my own parks you must find me a tree just as big as any in the forests. Bring it to me within 7 days." After much searching, the king's men found a splendid deodar tree growing not far from the city. It was worshipped by the people of many villages round about, because within it lived a goddess, and it was she who gave to the tree its great strength, size and beauty. When the prime minister and his men had decided that the column for the king's palace must be made from this lofty deodar tree, they came with garlands, lamps and music to pay their respects to the goddess inside, and to warn her that she must leave her abode. Within 7 days it had to be cut to the ground. They lit their lamps and placed them in a circle round the tree. They hung their garlands upon the branches and tied nosegays among the leaves. Then joining hands, some danced and others sang. "With cruel axe we have come to fell your age-long home. Forgive us, great tree goddess, we dance before your throne. To please the king must we cut down your loveless tree." The tree goddess heard and understood what was about to happen. She remained quiet as resting breeze for a few moments, and then all her leaves began to whisper and her topmost branches bowed. The men went away satisfied that she had heard their prayers and understood the request. That night, when the king was asleep, a glorious figure draped in shining green foliage appeared to him, and spoke in a voice that was like the rustle of autumn leaves. Word meaning: steep, sloping sharply, lofty, tall, nosegays, small bunches of flowers, foliage, the leaves of a plant or tree. "I am the goddess of the deodar tree, great king. Your men have told me that you intend to cut me down. I have come to beg you to change your mind." "No, my mind is made up," answered the king in his dream. Yours is the only tree in all my park strong enough to support by itself a palace, and therefore I must have it. But consider, O king, for hundreds of years I have been worshipped by the people of all the villages in your kingdom, and nothing but good has gone out from me to them. The birds nest in me. I send a most lovely shade upon the grass. Men rest against my trunk and wild creatures rub themselves against me. The earth blesses me and sends up new plants and herbs under my protective arms. I bind the earth with my strong roots. Children play at my feet, and women returning from the fields seek refuge in my coolness. All true enough, good tree goddess, said the king, but all the same I cannot spare you. My mind is made up, my will cannot be shaken. The tree goddess sunk her head upon her breast and spoke in tones of great sorrow. Then, mighty king, grant me one last request. Let me be felled in 3 parts. First, my head, with its crown of waving greenery. Next, my middle with its 100 strong arms and hands. And last, my base which bears the heaviest and knottiest of my limbs upon it. This is a strange request, said the king. I have never before heard of someone who wished to suffer the death stroke thrice. Why not suffer it once and have done with it? The reason is plain, said the tree goddess. Dozens of young deodar trees have sprung from me and have grown up around me. Should you fell me with one mighty stroke, my weight would certainly crush all my children to death. But if I suffer the stroke 3 times and fall in 3 pieces, some of the young ones may escape. Is my prayer granted? Word meaning: refuge, a structure to give protection. Mighty, strong, powerful. Crush, to press with great force so as to break, injure or destroy. Escape, to get away or break out. Indeed it is, said the astonished king, as the tree goddess faded from his vision. The next morning the king called his children and his ministers and his foresters to him, and told them that he had changed his mind, and that the column for the new palace should be built of stone, not wood. For, said he, within the deodar tree lives a spirit nobler than my own. And he told them of his vision, and they all marveled. And then, the king built his palace upon a great column of stone, and around its base he created a beautiful park, and the children of the city and the surrounding villages flocked to the gardens to sit on the grass and enjoy the many beautiful flowers and trees that had been planted on all sides. Taking the example of the king, no one built their houses of wood anymore. The houses were made of stone, and the great deodars were able to spread freely through the forests. Ruskin bond, slightly abridged. Word meaning: astonished, surprised, faded, disappeared, spirit, soul, flocked, gathered in a large number.
Like, share and subscribe.